Welcome back, everyone. Let's jump right in. Have you ever wondered what actually goes into creating those almost hypnotic educational experiences for toddlers? Well, today we're dissecting a truly fascinating document. We are breaking down a meticulously engineered structural blueprint for a preschool edutainment experience. Think of it kind of like looking at the matrix behind the screen. We're examining the raw source code, the exact instructions used to generate a vibrant 10 to 15-minute learning adventure about vegetables. Whether you're an educator, a creator, or just a fascinated observer of digital media, understanding this architecture reveals exactly how screen time is actively engineered to captivate.
So, here is our game plan for today's explainer. We'll cover 1. The rules of engagement, 2. Setting the magical scene, 3. The core vegetable loop, 4. The garden roster, 5. Interactive minigames, and 6. The grand musical finale. Let's get to it.
Starting with Section 1, the rules of engagement. These are the strict parameters for preschool content creation. To really get this blueprint, we first have to look at the rigid boundaries the creator is forced to operate within.
This breakdown right here brilliantly captures that core mandate. The source material is super clear. Absolutely no dry pedagogical advice for adults. There's zero room for educational theory here. You can't just talk about teaching strategies. You have to literally do the teaching. The creator must generate the final immersive adventure, speaking directly to the children. You've got to wrap the education in a colorful, magical preschool world packed with original narration and songs. It's all about direct, joyful communication.
And here is the crucial takeaway. Every single structural choice in this blueprint is mathematically calibrated for a very specific audience, kids aged 2 to 5 years old. At this age, cognitive development is just exploding, but their attention span is, incredibly fragile. So you can't just hand them a textbook. Every element of the pacing has to be absolutely precise to capture their imagination right on their level.
But make no mistake, beneath all those bright colors and goofy smiles, there is a serious educational engine humming away. While the kids are jumping around and laughing, the machinery is relentlessly driving toward foundational goals. We aren't just talking about basic shapes and colors. This engine is actively building pronunciation skills and reinforcing memory retention. Everything is meticulously designed to give them actionable knowledge disguised as pure fun.
Moving on to Section 2, setting the magical scene and engaging the toddler immediately. Those first few seconds are absolutely make or break, and the environment has to instantly capture their attention.
Hello, little garden explorers! Welcome to the magical vegetable garden. Today we're going to meet lots of healthy vegetables. Can you guess their names? We'll sing, dance, play games, and learn together. Are you ready? Let's go!
Okay, Section 3, the core vegetable loop. This is the precise sequence for every vegetable. What's truly wild here is the rigid, repeatable formula that gets applied to every single character introduced in this garden. Carrot, potato, whatever. The underlying structure simply does not change.
This step-by-step loop is literally a masterclass in cognitive reinforcement. Step 1, the 3-second hiding pause. To a toddler, that might feel like a fun eternity, but to a developer, it's a calculated cognitive gap to build anticipation. Step 2, the grand reveal, paired with a strict 3-time repetition of the name to lock it into memory. Step 3, visually reinforces the color by making everything glow. And finally, Step 4 grounds the whole concept with a physical action and a funny sound effect, like crunch, crunch, crunch. It bombards their developing brains with multi-sensory cues.
Next up is Section 4, the garden roster, where we categorize the 20-plus required vegetables. Because obviously a core loop is only as good as its cast, and the blueprint mandates a massive, specific roster to process through this system.
The creator has to include this massive hierarchy of veggies, everything from roots and tubers down to gourds and pods. And look at the mandated nuance here. It's brilliant. For example, when introducing the tomato, the script actually has to explain that it's scientifically a fruit. Or with the chili pepper, there has to be a very clear warning that it's spicy and not for everyone. It shows an incredible attention to detail, making sure the kids get safe, accurate information mixed in with the silliness.
And for every single one of those 20-plus veggies, this strict checklist applies. Think of it like extreme quality assurance for toddlers. If even one of these elements, like the funny sound effects, the guessing game, or the cheerful encouragement, is missing from a vegetable's loop, the blueprint is totally broken. Treating preschool content with this level of strict quality control guarantees a totally uniform, high-quality learning experience across the board.
All right, Section 5, Interactive Minigames. This is the mandate for continuous engagement, because let's face it, if you just loop the exact same structure 20 times in a row, a toddler is going to completely lose focus.
So here's the true engine of this explainer's engagement, the 8 to 10 second rule. The viewer's brain is literally never allowed to rest for more than 10 seconds before being prompted to act. Whether it's guessing, pointing, counting, or moving, this scheduled, constant interaction is basically a defense mechanism against passive viewing. It enforces active learning and keeps energy levels high.
Let's break down a few of these mandated interactions, starting with the classic guessing game. This one is specifically designed to test visual recognition among a lineup. The child is prompted to actively search the screen for the target vegetable, culminating in a huge celebration when they find it. It turns a static image into a mini puzzle to be solved.
Next is the color game, reinforcing those earlier color glow mechanics. But instead of just passively telling the child what color something is, it turns that observation into an active quiz. Which vegetable is green? By making them pull the answer from their own memory, it radically strengthens the mental association between the vegetable and its color.
Then we have the counting game. This one brilliantly shifts the educational focus from qualitative traits like color and shape over to basic numeracy, showing multiple instances, like 5 carrots, and counting them out loud from 1 to 5. It makes sure different areas of the developing brain are being stimulated, fulfilling the mandate to keep the mental rhythm super dynamic.
Now, the garden harvest game introduces a simulated physical task. By asking the child to virtually pick a vegetable, it bridges the gap between the screen and real-world actions. The kid points or reaches out and, boom, it triggers a satisfying animation of the veggie jumping right into the basket. It makes the digital environment feel entirely tangible and responsive.
And finally, my personal favorite, the movement game. This literally forces the toddler to stand up and burn some energy. By directing them to hop like a pea, stretch tall like corn, or roll around like a pumpkin, the learning experience becomes fully kinesthetic. It makes sure physical engagement matches mental engagement. Plus, hopefully, it's tiring them out right in time for a nap.
Which brings us to Section 6, the grand musical finale, concluding the magical adventure. After 10 to 15 minutes of non-stop core loops and rapid-fire games, the blueprint demands a highly specific, climactic closing sequence.
The creator faces an incredible creative challenge here. They have to synthesize the entire massive roster, all the colors, and all the actions into one brand new, catchy, and legally distinct song. It cannot be a ripoff of an existing nursery rhyme. It's actually a pretty funny juxtaposition when you think about it, deploying strict copyright evasion tactics right in the middle of a colorful toddler vegetable song.
This leads right into the visual finale. It's designed to be intentionally overwhelming in the best way possible. All the characters return, the rainbow shines, and confetti completely fills the screen. The psychological purpose of this visual overload is ultimate memory reinforcement. It summarizes the whole journey in one unforgettable explosion of joy, making sure those core lessons really stick.
You're a vegetable superstar! See you in our next magical adventure! Bye-bye, little explorer! With these exact parting words, the host dishes out ultimate positive reinforcement. The child feels accomplished and happy. But notice that algorithmic retention strategy baked right into the goodbye. See you in our next magical adventure. It seamlessly sets the hook for the next loop of content.
So it really leaves us with a fascinating thought to ponder, doesn't it? We tend to think of children's entertainment as simple, organic fun. But when we look at this incredibly strict, mathematically paced blueprint, we have to ask, does the magic of childhood learning actually come from the subject itself, or is it generated by this meticulously engineered rhythm of delivery? It totally changes how you view the media we make for the youngest minds. Next time you see a toddler glued to a colorful screen, well, you'll know exactly what the matrix looks like underneath. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.